Hey guys, it's the Leon Chav. We just wanted to give you a friendly, positive reminder that you have integral a to a f of x dx friends. Have fun with the UH quiz.
That was a pretty good one. All right, guys, let's get started. I think you're going to really enjoy this one. It's not too shabby. Shabby, who uses that word? Well, I guess I did, but all right, here we go. Find the average value of the function x to the fifth on the interval -3 to 3 and determine the number c on this interval for which f of c is equal to the average value. All right, this is an odd function, guys. So, because it's an odd function, it looks like this. No, it's okay, guys. You guys can chat. You can hear yourself on YouTube when you log in, and you can see, you know. All right, so there's a crew here. All right, yeah, become a subscriber, miss. So x to the fifth looks a lot like x cubed, but it's to the fifth power. So these lines would actually be pretty tight, or they would be going pretty quick. But anyways, we can use this illustration here to help us out. So later, guys. Later, miss. Hey, make sure to bring the art drawings. Okay. So if I have this area here and I have this area here, my apologies, guys. Now we're back in business. You can see that it cancels each other out. So the average value is 0. Oh, that's not the answer. The average value is 0, and then it wants us to find a c value of where this occurs. Well, the c value of where it occurs is 0. That's where the function is 0. So 0 and 0. That's the answer. All right, let's go to the next question, guys. Find the average value of the function absolute value of 8x on the interval -2 to 2 and determine the c for which it equals the average value. All right, again, so here is the absolute value of 8x. I'm just going to exaggerate it and make it look like x. If I were to draw the real 8x, it'd be super steep, closer to the y-axis there. So let's see, at 2, I'm going to say here's 2. At 2, the height is 16. So the area between -2 and 2 is, let's see, 2 times 16 is 32, divided by 2 is 16. So this is actually 16 here, and this is 16 here. So the total area is 32. But then the interval is 4. So 32 divided by 4 is 8. So this is my average value. So now it wants to know at what c value do I equal 8. So you just set this expression, 8x, equal to 8, and you can see that that happens at 1. And it's also going to happen at -1. So at 1, it's 8, and at -1, it's also 8. So there it is. All right, find the average value of the function 6x minus 3x squared on the interval 0 to 6, and determine the number c on the interval for which f of x is equal to the average value. Again, it's the same thing again. I'm going to find the area between 0 and 6, the net area, so 0 to 6 of 6x minus 3x squared dx. So antiderivative is 6x squared divided by 2. So that is 3x squared minus x cubed, and I'm going to evaluate these two from 0 to 6. I don't have to worry about the 0, because anything times 0 is 0, but I do have to worry about the 6 there. So I'm going to go 6 squared, which is 36, times 3. So what's that? 108, sorry. Don't know why it took so long. Minus, and then 6 to the third power is 216. So 108 minus 216, I believe that's 108 because, well, 216 divided by 2 is 108. So that's going to be a -108. And since I'm going between 0 and 6, I have to divide that by 6. So if I divide that by 6, I get 18. So -108 divided by 6. In case you're wondering what I'm doing, guys, average value is 1 over b minus a, integral a to b of f of x dx. That's how you find average of x, of f, sorry. So that answer was -18. That's my average value. And so now it's between B and D, and obviously the answer I got there is D. So how do you find that, guys? So we're going to have to equal this expression to negative 18. So here we go. So 6x minus 3x squared equals negative 18. I'm going to move everything to the right. So 0 equals 3x squared minus 6x minus 18. I can factor out a 3. No, I can't factor anything out. No, I can. I can factor out a 3. So if I factor out a 3, I get x squared minus 2x minus 6. And I'm going to go ahead and use the quadratic formula, guys. Since I have this equal to 0, I want to see where that's at. So there it is. I'm going to use that right there to figure out my zeros. So I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to do it in blue. Here we go. So I'm going to say x equals 2 plus minus square root. Negative 2 squared is 4 minus 4 times 1 times negative 6 all over 2 times 1. So what do I get here? I get 2 plus minus square root 4 plus 6 times 4 is 24 over 2. So 2 plus minus 24 plus 4 is 28. So square root of 28. And I still am over 2. And then I need two numbers that will, when I multiply, give me 28. But when I divide, will give me, I just need two numbers that multiply, give me 28. But will give me a perfect square. So sorry about that, guys. And those two numbers are 7 and 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So what we really have is 2 plus minus 2 square root of 7 over 2. So dividing both terms by 2, you get 1 plus minus square root of 7. Now remember, my interval was 0 to 6, so I can't have the minus 1 because that will take me outside my interval. So it has to be the plus 1. So there it is, guys. Alright, next one. Find the average value of the function sine x on the interval, that interval, and determine the number c. Okay, so first let's see how that graph looks like. Sine of pi over 2 is 1, and sine of 3 pi over 2. Sine of 3 pi over 2 is negative 1. So because it's symmetric, the average value is 0. So where does this function equal 0? Right at pi. So you got to know your unit circle on that one, guys. Let's go to the next one. Suppose that b is greater than 0 and the average value of f of x f of x equals 5x minus 3 and 0 to b is 1/4. Find the value of b. Okay, so here we go. So integral from 0 to b of 5x minus 3 dx and 1 divided by b minus 0 equals 1/4. So we're going to find b here. So average value. Okay, so what I'm going to do is multiply both sides by b, guys. Oh no, I'm going to leave the b there. 1 over b, and an antiderivative of 5x is 5x squared over 2 minus 3x. Evaluate this from 0 to b, and all that still equals 1/4. So I don't have to worry about the 0, so let's plug in a b. So 1b, so 5b squared over 2 minus 3b, and all that equals 1/4. I'm going to distribute the 1 over b like that to both. So when I do that, I have 5 over 2b minus 3 equals 1/4. I'm going to move that 3 to the other side. So now I have 5 over 2b equals, and then 3 and 1/4, let's see what that is. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, so 13 over 4. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal of 5/2 to get b by itself. So b equals 13 over 4 times 2 over 5. So let's see, 2 goes into 4 twice, so you get 13 over 10. And there it is. Not that bad, guys. All right, for an odd function where The integral from 3 to 0 of f of x dx is 4. Determine the average value of f on the interval negative 3 to 3. If it's an odd function, and this is symmetrical about the origin, 0. Always. Because all odd functions look like this. All of them. Where if this is negative a, this is a, and this area is going to cancel out with this area. Alright. If it were an even function, it would be different, guys. Set up the integral needed to find the area of the region bounded between the graph butene anyways, of the function 10 plus 3x minus x squared and the x-axis. So first find your zeros of that. So I'm just going to change the polarities of everything, guys, because it doesn't matter if I do f of x or negative f of x. You're still finding zeros. So x squared minus 3x plus 10 equals 0. So two numbers that when I multiply will give me positive 10, but add up to a negative 3. And let's see, that is going to be x. Oh, that 10 should have been, no wonder I couldn't find anything, guys, because that 10 should have been a negative there. Okay, now we're good. Two numbers that multiply that give you negative 10, but add up to a negative 3. So x minus 5, x plus 2. And if I equal that to 0, I get a 5 and I get a negative 2. So 5 and negative 2 are my limits. So integral, my lower limit is negative 2, my upper limit is 5, and then the function is already given. So there it is. All right, let's go to the next one. Suppose the integral needed to find the area of the region between the graph of blah and blah. So what we got to do, guys, is we got to find where they intersect because that's what we need. So let's see, g of x equals 3. So that means I have a line like that at 3. And then if I factor out, let's see. There's a third guy. Let's see what this is. There's so many ways to do it, guys. Let's see. Well, you know what? Let's just find the zeros and see what's up. X squared plus 2x equals 3. Not zeros, where they intersect. So where does this happen? X squared plus 2x minus 3 equals 0. So let's see. X minus x plus equals 0. And I'm going to write a 3 here and a 1 there. So there you go. That will work. And I have x equals 1 and x equals negative 3. So negative 3 to 1 on my limits. And the graph that is on top is the g of x, because it's gonna look something like this. So at this point it's gonna be negative 3, and then at this point it's gonna be a 1. So cool. Should go through there. All right. Question 9. Which of the following integrals represents the area of the region bounded by the curves? So I want you to recognize we have 3 colors. So I'm going to use 2 colors here, guys. So right here, this cross section, I have a rectangle there, and it's a green line minus a red line. The green line is 0. The red line is negative 3 squared of x. And I behave like that all the way. So here's the last one right there at 4. So I'm going to have that integral of 0 minus a negative square root of 3 square root of x. So it could turn to a positive. So if it turns to a positive, that means this one's out. This one's out. And well, this one here doesn't make any sense at all. So it's between a and d. And notice that the limit is 4. Later, guys. So between 0 and 4 for that one, and then as soon as you pass 4, notice it's green minus blue. So green minus blue, so 0 minus x minus 10, and distribute the negative, so it's going to be negative x plus 10. So notice I have a 10 minus x. Look at the limits. What? No, nothing. Sorry, YouTube. Here we go. Next question. No, I'm sorry. The graph of f of x is given below. Use this graph to find the average value from 0 to 9. So I'm just going to find this area here, guys. And I'm going to find this area here, and I'm going to add them up. Well, the area below the x-axis is negative. The area above the x-axis is positive. So I see a trapezoid here. Height is 2, so let's see, 2. And then 4 plus 2 divided by 2. Those cancel out, so I see 6. This is negative 6 down there. Between 4 and 9. Well, I guess first let's do that height, right? So this height, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 plus 1, 2, 3. 3 divided by 2. So the 2's cancel out, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8. So my net area is 2. 2 is my net area. That they want average value, so I'm going to have to divide the graph. Use the graph to find the average value. Yep. So the average value is going to be a small number, like 2/9. So how did I get 2/9? I saw that it's between 0 and 9. There's more area above the x-axis than below. So the total area is 2, and then I take that 2 and I divide by 9. So 2/9. Remember, guys, what I'm doing is this formula over and over again, but I'm using geometry in certain cases, like the one that you just saw where I'm just adding up stuff. Oh, that was it. All right, that was it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked it. I think everyone in here was really supportive of you guys. Sorry. Well, okay. Hopefully you guys had fun, and I hope you enjoyed our adventure. All right, later, guys.